Oh, tastes like a bad vape. Yeah, good. Film today, obviously we did watch yesterday at the show. Yeah. So actually, this was a bit impromptu, but we're going to run this vlog as a bit of a how to nail a first timers prep vlog. So obviously yesterday we took Ross to say, took second, looked incredible. Andrew is coming up like eight weeks out.
Yeah, seven
weeks out. So I want to show you where you should be at 7 weeks out if you want to look like Ross on stage, if you want to come in shredded, full, and hopefully stress free. So the plan will be the same with Andrew. We're going to run through push today, push session, get a free pose in, get a little look at him. And I think as we go through the session, I'll just give a few little tips and tricks of how to make sure you nail your first time prep, because I think it's a pretty stressful, can be the hardest one if you want to make it that way. So let's get into it. So something I always talk about when it comes to prepping, whether you're first timer or not, is your start position, right? If you start your prep in a bad position, it's not going to end well, or it is, but you're going to feel like absolute shit, which is going to lead to suboptimal results. So make sure you're starting your prep ideally on high food, relatively low activity, and not too much body fat. So I think having foresight of like, right, I'm going to compete at the end of 2024, right? Let's say that. I'm already going to start working back from there. Okay, I need a 20-week prep. Before that, I need a holding phase or a maintenance phase. Before that, do I need a quick tidy up, or am I good to go straight from off into that holding phase? So always be aware of where your fat levels are, and how much you're eating, how you're feeling, where your energy's at. Don't start a prep with any of that stuff already depleted and loads of body fat, because it's not going to end well. So first things first, make sure your starting point is on point.
Not like, I kind of got to that point about, was it 4 weeks ago, where I kind of hit my peak and it just kind of stayed. Yeah. A few reps down here and there, but mostly it's got less, do you know what I mean, overall. So it's one of those, so it's not actually that.
We can make that a second point. So when it comes to muscle retention, obviously training is your main vehicle to stimulate muscle and hold on to any tissue you've got, regardless of whether you're natty or enhanced. So listen up either way. Make sure that you prioritize your training. So if you possibly can, set up your days around your training. Train when you feel the best. Train when you're fed if that's how you feel the best. And make sure that you're not taking food away too quick, and not ramping your cardio up too really. Again, it goes back to that first point of making sure your start point is good. The things that are going to take away from training are going to be like lack of sleep, high fatigue, low food. So we need to try and stay away from these as much as possible until it's absolutely needed towards the end. And then again, the starting point will kind of dictate that. So choose cardio methods that don't take away your energy levels too much. Like if you're hammering the Stairmaster, your lower body training is probably going to suffer. Try and keep your food high, and when it gets low, just be smart with your nutrient timing, right? So make sure pre and post is where the majority of your carbs are. They're going to feed your performance. So that's how you need to be setting yourself up for fat loss, also for muscle retention. As prep goes on as well, and as your energy does dip, there will be that temptation to like not take reps or not take it there in terms of intensity. I think there's a few things you can do to like that. Number one, like Andrew's done today, get to a different gym, train with someone who's going to push you, train with someone who's going to keep you accountable to them reps. That'd be number one. Number two is don't be scared of. I've just totally lost my train of thought after that first point. I don't remember. You know what I think I was doing? I think I was just going to make that point, and then I thought, oh, there's another one, but there's not. That was the point. Get out of your usual environment. Train with someone who's going to push you, train in a new environment. So obviously be cautious when you're doing that. So not come away with shit tons of muscle soreness, because again, another thing that's going to impact your training is your training itself. So just be aware of that. Don't be adding loads of sets on, don't be doing loads of intensifiers. Stick to the plan as best as you can. If you want to make swaps, just be cautious with them. Don't be changing a seated leg curl for a fucking SLDL. You're gonna absolutely cane your recovery. So be cautious there.
Like, overall, it's just like, it's fatigue and mood that's the hardest part.
Yes.
Like, do you know what I mean? And like, my girlfriend's the exact same, because she's doing the same show.
Okay.
And she's like, I'm not hungry, like, through it. I'm like, a little bit, but it's like, it's the dips, odds and moods. That's like, some days you wake up and feel great, and other days you're like, right, let's go kind of thing. Like, but
we'll talk about food next. Okay, so Andrew was just talking about the food there and appetite and hunger. I hear exactly what he's saying here. I never feel hungry in prep. There's a lot of things you can do to like modulate that hunger, right? So, as I said earlier, make sure you prioritize food around the workout, but utilize high volume foods. You want to be stretching your stomach. Obviously, make the big salads, use the courgettes, runner beans, whatever digests well. Make sure you're making your meals satiating and you look forward to them and that they taste good, but not too good. That is the thing to be careful of, right? I think over the last few years, like IFBB, if it fits your macros, has become more and more popular, and now people are like dieting on Halo Top. Problem is, once you start with that stuff, you get a taste for it, you almost can't stop. So I would say stick to 5 or 6 meals every single day, the same meals that you know digest well, you know you can prepare easily, you know you enjoy, and just stick to that routine every single day, and you'll find it's a lot easier. You'll pick up momentum. Everything will be very predictable, and you won't be eating, you know, something new on plan. Next day, waking up 0.7 kilos heavier and thinking, what? I stuck to my macros. Yeah, but you might have caused some bloating, digestion, anything can happen, and then that stress carries over, and you start this chain of events, just a really negative place to be in. So stick to your routine when it comes to food. By all means, use voluminous, tasty foods, but keep them the same, and try not to be going for all these different fancy foods, all these syrups, like volume makers, things like that. Just be very cautious with it and stick to basics. Fruit, veg, lean meats, whole unprocessed carbs, and you'll get on much better. Budget fucking tripods. Amazon's choice apparently. It's like absolute like shit. Hey, my last one was so good. I feel like this is from like a souvenir shop on the beach or something. It's absolutely terrible. Something that's probably vastly overlooked for most early competitors and like novice competitors will be fatigue management, right? This is the thing that will make or break your prep, because if you feel too fatigued, and that is a valid feeling on prep, if you feel too fatigued, there is a level where that motivation to get things done is going to really drop off. You're going to start slacking on your cardio intensity, maybe add a little bit of extra food in when you're not supposed to, maybe not training as hard as you are. So fatigue management is key, right? Number one variable is your sleep. Make sure your sleep is of good quality and of good length. This will likely decline over prep. There's things that we need to put in place. So sleep hygiene, your pre-bed routine needs to be on point, blue light blockers, off your screens, downtime pre-bed. If you need to then add supplements in, melatonin is a great supplement. You can use that to aid your sleep and it will help. Start with a small dose, you don't need loads, 5 megs, maybe 10 meg if you need it as time goes on. If you're using anabolics, things like Tren will deplete your magnesium, so be supplementing with magnesium if you're struggling with your sleep. And then electrolyte balance, which I might talk more about at another point, but make sure you're not drinking loads as you get up to bed. Make sure your sodium and potassium is not way out of whack, because then if your body tries to release that stress, you're going to lose that war and you'll be waking up through the night, which is going to fatigue you further. That's sleep. Next, we'll talk about how to modulate recovery and fatigue, so things like refeeds or downtime from cardio. I'll just get my next set done. Look how. See how his outfit matches the gym perfectly. He knew he was coming to a red and black gym. Your gym's red and black as well, right? Just blends in. Part of the furniture. Look at this. Perfect.
But like I'm a bit fatigued, but compared to what I was having like training days was like 1,500 calories or something.
Yeah. I don't think you're going to have to get to that level. Yeah. That's what I'm talking about. This is why that start point is so important, because then you can literally kind of predict where it's going to go. Like, there will be outliers. Some people will start really high, have to go really low. I'm one of them. Even on my last prep, like, started the leanest I've ever started. Started with high food, ended up way below 2,000 calories at 100 kilos. So I'm an outlier. You just fucking deal with it, don't you? You just fucking get used to it. You accept it, move on, do what you can. So still on the topic of managing fatigue or backing off on fatigue, we've got a couple of options. Number one, the key one that everyone will know about is refeeds, which I think are quite often done wrongly and done at the wrong times. The first thing for me with an athlete in terms of a refeed is, am I confident they're going to be ready? Are they ahead of time in terms of fat loss? Because ultimately, if you get to stage and you or your athlete are not lean enough, that's your own fault. You fucked it, but you failed effectively. So make sure you're ahead of time if you're going to do refeeds. The second thing is then that will allow you to lean properly. So we know that a 1 day bump in calories doesn't really have any metabolic benefit. It may boost performance for a day, but probably not. So we want to be planning in 2 to 3 day refeeds to really refresh the athlete, get them feeling better physically, but also psychologically as well, right? I think the biggest benefit of refeeds is that drop in stress. That's quite often why we see a drop in weight. The stress drops off, water drops off. They just feel better. They can relax a little bit. On that point though, don't use a refeed as a chance to go and get a Domino's pizza in. Your coach gives you calories. If you think you're going to be tempted to start dragging other foods in, and again, go back to what I said about digestion, messing that up, ask them to tell you exactly what to eat. Like an extra double-sized bowl of cream rice is going to be just as good as anything else. I promise you when you're that lean. So 2-3 days of higher calories, bring your protein down, bring your fats down a little bit, but not too low, and then put the calories into carbs. See how the first day goes. I often go quite conservative first day. The athlete's weight drops. We'll go over another day a bit higher, a bit more aggressive, see how it feels. And then the performance for the next few days should be quite good. They should feel a bit fuller, and it might just give you more than anything that psychological break. It's like, okay, that felt good. I know that might happen again. Let me push on, but don't be doing it too early. Don't be doing it if you're too fat, because it's not going to help you with fat loss, I promise you that. And don't be bringing loads of new foods in. Don't be cheating, because we've seen the research, those high fat meals, they're going to be easily stored as fat. Your body's going to be super sensitive, so just be really sensitive with it. I know it can be a chance to like let your foot off the gas and take it a bit easy, but don't be tempted to do that. You can fuck your whole prep just by messing up one refeed, so just be careful.
You don't know your body as well as you think you do. That seems daft, but like for me, I was like the first day you sent everything through, I was expecting calories to drop like so much. And I think you took 100 off me, and it was like, and four half-hour cardio, so my cardio just doubled. What was that? And I was expecting like a big drop first day, and I was like, oh, this is like fine. And it's like just like you get to that point, you're like, oh man, I can push harder. Like I'm not struggling, and I'm 7 weeks out. Just now, it's like I was expected to feel like crap, and you're like, just do what you're told. Tick every box you've been assigned every day, and then that's all you have to do. Like, you don't have to do extra because you feel like you can. It's like if you keep doing extra all the time, what information is that giving you? Because at the end of the day, like doing something like online coaching, it's literally like almost like an experiment, because you're relaying information you've been told. Yeah. So if you data collection. Well, yeah, that's it. It's like if you're getting mistold information, the result at the end is going to be different to what you're applying. Yeah. So it's like you can't have to just do what you've been assigned and not like keep doing extra or like or stepping up and not telling, like, do you know what I mean? It's like, honestly, it's like, it's all your job is just analyze the data and go, all right,
if I've got the wrong data, I'm gonna
how are you meant to give like the right process to someone if they're not doing what you've been saying?
And fairly often as well, as a coach, if you are in tune with what you're doing and you're paying attention, the coach will quite often know if something's not going to plan. Because at the end of the day, there's a lot of anecdote and there's a lot of bro science, but a lot of it is science, right? If I'm putting you in a calorie deficit and things aren't moving, there's a reason for it. I'm going to exhaust a few of those reasons, and then I'm going to be like, are you sticking to your diet? Are you doing too much or too little? And honestly, it's key, man, because like Andrew just said there, if I get the wrong data, I'm going to make the wrong decisions. So you need to be honest. Your coach should always be approachable. Like, I've been there. I've fucked up plenty of times on prep. Best thing I do, tell my coach straight away the next morning, and then there we go. We move on from it. And hopefully you learn from those feelings that you've got. So coaching etiquette is key. Honesty is key. And being honest with yourself. If you're not honest with your coach, you know, if you've not got coaching, do it yourself. Be honest with yourself. The final thing I want to talk about is like your psychological approach to it, which Andrew touched on there, like doing more, and also the decisions that you make now are going to have a chain reaction. So I'll talk about that next. Then we'll do peak week, and then I'll probably try and wrap this up today and obviously show you how Ross gets on tomorrow. Okay, so what Andrew spoke about there, kind of, I can do more, I can do more, I can do more. If it's working, don't do more, right? Even if you can do more now and you feel good now, like, you're going to feel like shit, I promise you. If you get into condition, it doesn't matter how much you're eating, how much cardio you're doing, or how little cardio you're doing. If you are legit lean, you're going to feel like shit. So if you feel good now, take that momentum and run with it. If everything's moving in the right direction, don't feel the need to make unnecessary changes. This is where coaching comes in so handy, because I am emotionally invested, but I'm not emotionally attached to how the athlete's feeling on the inside. I need that information from him on fatigue and energy and how he's feeling mood-wise, but I'm not attached to that feeling inside, so I'm not going to make emotional decisions. I'm going to make objective decisions based on the information that he gives me. So if things are moving well, don't feel like you need to do more, you know? And if things aren't moving well, then yeah, you need to do more, but don't be thinking, oh shit, it's hard, man, I'm going to have a refeed or a day off. Like, you've got to put the work in. Don't feel the need to do too much work if things are going well. And understand that every decision that you make will have a like, it's like a butterfly effect, right? You change something now, it will have an impact further down the line. I've had quite a lot of athletes in the past who prep's going really well, and then they slip up. Right, a big cheat day, weight goes up by 4 or 5 kilos. It's not necessarily the water weight that goes on, or the little bit of fat that goes on, or the glycogen that goes into the muscle. The stress that the athlete will be under when they see their weight skyrocket, that I can't do anything about. That's just time. And you can be in a really good position, maybe 7 weeks out. If Andrea went on a binge tomorrow, I promise you, that will have an impact on the end result. Everything is going smoothly now. Don't rock the boat, man. Make sure you stay on things and just be true to yourself. Like, the feeling you get at the end of this, if you've done the perfect job, you'll feel amazing. So the last thing we'll talk about is peak week, which you'll hear or you'll see a bit more about tomorrow with Ross, and then we will wrap this section of the vlog up. Yeah, so and it's all coming like front delt, yeah. So just make sure you're relying on that once you point to the sky. That's good. Very good, but
it took me a long time to get feeling the traps out of any lateral movement. It's literally like out rather than up.
Yeah, a lot of people will be like that, and you thinking of driving. It's like a push movement, right?
Yeah.
You feel like you're pulling, but you're
I'm bringing my elbow forward as well. Rather than obviously, like a lot of people just like lateral. Yeah, like here, they'll say, go more forward.
Yeah, 100%.
Just takes away that trap.
Okay, so this must be probably the most frequently asked question. Probably the thing that people get wrong the most. Peak week. I'm not going to do a long segment on this because it needs a whole video in itself. Number one, if you want to turn up stress-free, full, dry and hard on show day, just be ready early, right? That is number one point. I've said that throughout this video, I'm saying it again now. Start your prep with enough time to be ready early. You don't want to be getting to peak week if you can possibly afford to, and then be like, oh shit, I've just got ready, or I'm still fat. If you're still fat, don't do a peak week diet into the show. Maybe have 1 day of higher carb free, maybe 2. if you're ready right on peak week, then you do need a strategy, okay? A few things I wouldn't do. Mess around with salt. Don't really mess around with water either. A little bit of manipulation, so higher water when you've got higher carbs going in, and maybe pull back maybe sort of 12 to 18 hours out from the show, and then just go on sips. But again, if you feel like you're running flat, don't start pushing more carbs in, because water and salt or sodium are going to be your two main things that are going to drive the pump. Pump is what you need on stage. So if you wake up flat on show day, rather than hammering a load of carbs in, hydrate first. See how that look changes. Make sure you're assessing it very, very carefully each hour, after each meal, after a bit of water. Then in terms of peak week strategy, if you're not ready early and you need a peak week, you've got two choices. Front load your food, so fill up at the start of the week and slowly taper it down. Quite a safe option. You're not going to fuck it up the day before show. Again, it's all going to be data driven. Or obviously backload, slightly high risk. You normal food up until maybe Wednesday if your show's on a Saturday or Sunday. Thursday, Friday, high food. Saturday back to baseline, assess the look on Sunday morning. Like I said, hydrate first, make sure you've got sodium going through before you start throwing loads of food in on show day. You want to keep that stomach tight. You don't want to look bloated on stage. You need to have ab control, midsection control in every class is key. So make sure you're not throwing loads of food in. And I think we'll probably wrap that up here today. Loads of information for you to take away in there. If you got any comments or any questions, pop them in the comments below and I'll get back to you as best as I can. The next video will be Ross on his show day, okay? It's going to be a much shorter video, but it's going to give you a perfect example of what a coach needs to be doing on show day. How an athlete should look and feel. Look out for the smiles on his face, man. He's buzzing. He's looking forward to his day. He's not nervous. So enjoy watching show day videos. You'll see how we got on and you'll see how good you can turn up on show day. You just get ready early, follow the process and execute everything to a T. That is a perfect prep. So look out for that next video.